Hello there, I'm Gary Foster and welcome back to episode 35 of What Price Victory. Now, for those that you're with us in previous episodes, you may recall that Melbourne Victory actually had a very successful year last year. We had success in the A-League proper, and we carried that good form over into the final series, and we were successful in beating Adelaide United in the grand final, which is seen as the ultimate day in the A-League calendar. So from that, we had a close season game against Hirogashisaka Rosa in the AFC Championship, which brings us to today, where we've been drawn against Guangzhou, who you may recall knocked us out last year in the semi-finals. I think it was 4-1 on aggregate. Now, also a bit of an apology, because in the previous video I may have I indicated that we'd come back for the opening FFA Cup round, but as it was against Lions FC, who are a Queensland Premier League team, I thought we should be strong enough to get through that particular game. And as you can see, we beat the Premier League side 4-2. Everybody played reasonably well. The score was 4-0 at half-time, and we gave away 2 late goals, which sloppy, but it was probably disappointing that we couldn't go on with it. Right, so just before we go to the game against Guangzhou, there's been a fair bit happening in this rather tedious close season. So the our close season activity wasn't as hectic as what I thought it was going to be, but we lost Lee Broxham, who decided to retire. He was a good servant of the club there. He played many games for us, both in defence and in midfield. Matthew Acton, a little bit disappointing that he left, because I had left the contract renewals up to the DOF, and the DOF gave him a pretty poor option. And when I took over the contract renewals, Matthew simply wanted too much money. So rather than go through the tedium of trying to find a new club for him, I released him on a free, and it was kind of with a heavy heart, because although he was down to probably 2.5 star rating, he'd been a great servant for the club. Storm Roo, happy to release him, because there were some issues over him. And Rudy Gestede, who was another wonderful servant of the club, and as you recall, a couple of years ago was our top scorer. So a little bit of a broom clean, but I think we've got some good youngsters coming in, and we've still got a fair bit of wriggle room in our salary cap, as well as our player registration for the upcoming season. So we may not be finished with signings just yet. So without further ado, we'll get on to that AFC game against Guangzhou. Okay, so here's the squad against Guangzhou. We've got Crocombe in goal. We've got Nishikawa, Baghulio, Dendonka, who's a new signing. He's come to us predominantly as a centre back, although his preferred position is centre half or defensive midfield. But got him in from Brighton. So pretty happy with him. He brings a lot of experience and a lot of stars to the back line. So that's Lars Dendonka. Ryan Grant is the other defender. We've got Teague, Metcalf and Kurta in the midfield. We've got Burkic and Italiano, our wide attacking players. And we've got young Skiri up front, who's going to spearhead our attack. So I'll be submitting that team. We'll certainly be up against it with Guangzhou. The only thing that I'm hoping for is that they might be a little bit underdone. So Fabio Cannavaro, a fair bit of experience behind that name. He'd be well known to most football fans, I would have thought. Okay, so point the finger and say go where you've carried off where you did last match. Just want to check the mentality. Yeah, I think we just might turn that down a little bit to cautious. Just to try and wiggle our way through the game. I'm not expecting it's a game that we're going to be dominant in. So if I can get a score draw, I'd be more than happy with that. So pretty quiet on the on the leaderboard at the moment. So we'll give them a little bit of encouragement and send them on their way. They're all fired up by their feedback. Here's Guangzhou with the ball. Comes wide to their right and bring it into the box. Low cross. Oh, okay. That was an offside call. Okay, that was kind of lucky. I'm not quite sure how we would have seen that. In some of the games that we're dominating, I've also changed slightly our formation, where I've pushed that defensive midfielder up into a flat 3 midfield. But I've been trialling that throughout the pre-season, and albeit against some of our National Premier League teams, we have pretty good success with it. But here's Guangzhou again on the ball. Difty little cross in, and there's a lot of room. There's a lot of room. 2, 4, 6 players ball watching, and Ryan Grant left all by himself. Hey, have a look at those players just outside the box. Yeah, Crocombe left with very little he could do. So that was a little bit of damage that we didn't want. But we'll get them into the sheds, hopefully with no more damage on the scoreboard. Okay, here we go. Okay, so that's good news. So it gives us a chance to get them. So yeah, so there's the revenge thing from Guangzhou where they beat us last time. Well, actually, we drew with them last time, but they did knock us out. So I think our attackers just need a little bit of a point the finger. And the midfielders, they need a little bit of a point the finger. And our defenders especially, even though we're 1-0 down, I thought was a little bit slack. Poor old Jacob, you're unmotivated. Now you're uninspired, and now you're back to unmotivated. You don't really know what you're doing, Jacob, there, do you? So let's give him a little bit of encouragement. And we've got all the green smarties up there. But Burke and Kurta, his fitness is just falling at the moment. So Guangzhou with the ball. Lots of room on the right. We'll come back and knot it down, but oh. Eesh. That was a penalty. Nishikawa. Very clumsy. Very clumsy. Okay, Crocombe, time to earn your money. Oh, jeez. It nearly went in on the other side of the post. Okay, so missed penalty. Yeah, very much a let off there. So let's see if we can... No, we can't. Okay, so Skiri's doing it a little bit tough. Being on Laurie Latanzio and Kurda. Barrett. Maybe we can demand a little bit more. Starved to possession, behind almost 2-1 in that. Jacob Italiano, no, not really interested in that. Okay, ball given away. Pumped through, but wasn't really going to be terribly threatening. But now Guangzho. Lots of blue shirts back, but near post, ricochet rabbit, and okay. Bit of a mix-up in our defence there, I think, by the look of it. The ball came in. I thought we had pretty well covered. It wasn't a great cross. Crocombe and our defence got a little bit tangled up. So, okay. Change our mentality for the last 10 minutes to be attacking. Okay, so didn't see much of that build up, but obviously a free kick to Guangzho. So 2-0. No chance of an away goal. Rather cushioned header back to us centre back. Roosted upfield. Okay, come on boys. Final flurry. Ugh. Okay, there you go. And as you can see, pretty well dominated. So we're probably lucky to only be beaten 2-0. We weren't really at the dance for that, were we? Okay, so they've got to come to our patch. Nobody was expecting us to win. Did they give it everything? Rating suggests not. Not happy. Jacob, you're apprehensive. I don't know why. Okay, so it looks like Western Sydney Wanderers. They're on a bit of a thumping as well. So yeah, it looks like we've got it all to do in the second leg. A little bit of admin to do there. So with the schedulie, you can see the A-League proper starts on the 31st of December, which is still a little bit of a way away. What I plan to do this time is that I'll do a little bit of admin, and in a week or so's time we've got Adelaide United in the second round of the FFA Cup. So I'll do some admin and come back for that. And then it depends where the draw is, because I think it'll probably be at least sometime there before the next Guangzhou game. So yeah, let me do a little bit of admin, and I'll come back for that. Okay, so here's the squad to take on Adelaide United in the FFA Cup. Not too many changes. Got the youngster Colette in goal, 17-year-old goalkeeper who's got a lot of ability. Nishikawa, Baghulio, Ansel comes in for a start with Grant in defence. Teague, Kurta, Metcalf, our defensive midfield trio. Burkick and Italiano out wide with Laurie Latenzio up the front. So it's a home game, so I just might change that to attacking. I'll submit that team. Okay, so reasonably strong Adelaide United squad. I tried signing their striker Yengi during the close season, but I had a cheeky little bid turned down. So okay, well I don't like any of those options. I don't know why we're favourites for a reason. Have fun. Favourites. Oh. You're on a hiding to nothing with any of those, aren't you? Give the fans something to cheer for, maybe. Okay, so it'd be interesting just to see what the outcome of this will be, because we've got a pretty full strength squad named. So, and Adelaide have also got a reasonably full strength squad as well. So it's like both teams are taking the FFA Cup seriously. So Italiano to Metcalf, who's been the subject of some transfer speculation, even though he's still got time left on his contract. Nishikawa with the cross, and there we go, Burkick ghosting in from the right wing. So good goal. The Burkick, he can't score when he's a striker, but he has some really good games as wide on the right. So comes in and he attacks that ball. He came at pace. So victory, 1-0. Yeah, so if Burkick does sort of make that his home, because Lawton, who's the regular, he's out for another 3 weeks because he picked up an injury in pre-season. So there's an opportunity there for Burkick to put a little bit of pressure on Lawton, who was our top scorer last year. So trying to find a Gastede replacement is going to be a bit of a problem. But I mean, he was... yeah, his figures and that were falling, so I was it was with a little bit of reluctance I had to let him go. But I'm on the lookout for a gun striker on a designated player contract. So Metcalf, Italiano, high, wide, and let's just say not particularly handsome. Okay, so all the punters are calm, composed and pleased. Right, so maybe I'll just tell them all that I'm here and just give them a little bit of encouragement. Uninterested. Gee, I don't know why you bother with those shouts. I don't know how effective they are. So Italiano, Nishikawa lobs it over. Burkick with a good little header. Okay. Looks like Burkick's reminded me that he is a goal scorer after all. I had some doubts with him because even during the pre-season, he didn't set the world on fire. I was playing him as a striker, but it looks like attacking right midfielder might be his fortitude. Not his fortitude, but his go-to. Okay, so we've kept Adelaide shotless, which is surprising. Pardon me, and we're dominating possession as well, which is good to see. So interesting formation that Adelaide have. They're playing with 2 DMs, which I'm really not quite sure how that would work when you're down 2-0. Okay, Italiano with the corner. Back to Italiano, getting more of a drilled cross. But Curta and Ansell combine, wide out to Grant. Burkick again, interchange with Curta. And now Grant continues his run on the overlap. Plenty of red shirts in the middle, but Laurie Latanzio, he misses it, went to Italiano and got stuck under his foot. Okay. Half time. Dominating the game. I'm not delighted, but I'm very happy. So it'll be interesting to see if Markovic can... sorry, not Markovic. Burkick can get his hat-trick, or his first hat-trick for the club. Okay, so we just need to keep Adelaide at bay in this particular highlight. If we can do that, I'll give them a little bit of encouragement or praise. Like poor sort of a cross. Crocombe. Collette. Made a bit of a mess of that. Colette's only a young'un, and in goals, I'm not 100% sure whether I'm doing the right thing by bringing him up so early. He's there's a lot of people who play this game would tell you the stars don't really matter, but he does have the most stars, with Crocombe only having I think he's 2.5 stars now. But like his stats are pretty good, with Crocombe there on the bench. And right, Adelaide launching it forward. I thought that went wide. It was disallowed anyway, but Crocombe came for that ball. He was nowhere near it. Okay, just to step out. But I thought that was going wide. Optical occlusion. Okay, if that's the case, we'll just pause that. Couple of Curta not playing well. Oh yeah, Barnett and Markovic. I'd like to give him a run. Another young player that I'm looking at to make a bit of an impact this year. Can play equally adept at left or right back. Well, we'll give him a bit of praise. Delighted. Do it. Yeah, Dukley, who's also been the subject of some loan requests, but I wanted to keep him because he's another versatile player that's equally adept at either side of the field. So there we have it. Second round FFA Cup win to the good guys. Yeah. Burkick, and no surprise there as the man of the match. I'll go into the dressing room. Well done, lads. That was a good win for us. And we'll continue. Okay. Right, victory was a 2-0. Moreton Bay. Premier League team still in it. Another Premier League there, Olympic FC. And Sydney FC in a A-League game there with Brisbane Roar. So we'll continue that. Just trying to see when the draw is made. It's now thrown up rivals Melbourne City and Melbourne Victory. So another rivalry game. So that's coming up on the 27th of September. Okay, so that's about 3 weeks away. Go into our schedule. Okay, so our next game will be the return leg against Guangzho in the Champions League. That'll take place on the 19th, and then there's going to be a break. They'll probably have to do that as an admin just to get another video in. So yeah, Guangzhou and Melbourne City will be our next video. So okay, so I'm Gary Foster. Thank you very much for watching What Price Victory, and we'll catch up with you shortly. All the best now.